With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. Tuesday, Barnstable residents hit the polls in force and elected 5 new town councilors. 3 incumbents were unseated in Tuesday's election. Ann Kennedy retained her seat in Precinct 1. In Precinct 3, Mike Hersey beat out incumbent Jim Munifo and challenger Ryan Richardson. Precinct 5 voters elected newcomer James Cote over incumbent Jim Crocker. Precinct 7 was an open seat. It'll be occupied by Jessica Rapp-Rossetti. Precinct 9 voters re-elected James Tinsley. Incumbent Hank Farnham lost his Precinct 11 seat to challenger June Daly, and the open Precinct 13 seat was won by Jennifer Cullum. This morning on Barnstable This Morning, we talked with Town Council President Fred Chirigotis, who shared his perspective on welcoming 5 new faces to the council. So now that you've had a day for it to sink in, any more thoughts from you on Tuesday's election?
Well, I guess there have been some changes to the council, so I think it's time for us to get together. And I think I've been talking about having a couple of strategy and training sessions so that councilors can jump right in and get right to work. I think it's important that people understand what the rules are. You know, I've seen someone suggest that they want to have. There are a whole host of rules. Actually, the town council uses Mason's rules. Someone asked us to have Robert's rules, but you know, parliamentary procedure. That's important. I think we should have a training session on ethics, which, you know, there is a statewide training on ethics, but it needs to be updated, and we need to regularly understand what our obligations are. And there are so many pitfalls that people need to be careful for.
Indeed, and as you mentioned, I just want to go back and touch upon the parliamentary procedure. That's something that's very important in dealing with a legislative body such as the town council, for everyone really on that council to understand what those rules are, because those really dictate how you operate and really how you converse during the entire course of the meeting.
I mean, it's absolutely right, and you know, without getting bogged down in the procedural stuff, you can if you're not careful. You know, the substance is what we're there for, and having a substantive meeting is much more important, but you still need to follow the correct procedure. You need to make sure that everything is done properly, people are recognized, and so it's not, I mean, it's not the kind of a lesson that we need to, you know, take with a stick. It's a lesson that we just all need to understand that this is the process and these are the rules that we operate under. And some of them are ordinary common sense, and some, you know, like what issues are subject to debate, what issues are not subject to debate, what is the order of, you know, so there's a whole host of things that are simple, but that'll be a good training. And there are a whole host of other things. I think it would be important for all of us to understand all of our boards and commissions and what liaisons do. And that way, with new councilors, I can, or the new president, whoever that is, can understand what focus certain councilors would like to have or prefer, what their strengths are, so that we really can all work together and you know, move forward.
Sure, Fred. Is it pretty much standard operating procedure when you have new councilors join the board to give them a training session and have these kind of strategy sessions, or is this something that's relatively new?
It was way in the past, but I think we've gotten away from it. There had not been a major change in the council in some years, but I've talked to a number of people. I know that the legal department in the past facilitated a training session. I've been to a few training sessions, and it's just, I think it's important that, you know, for new councilors especially who are coming in, that they're part of the team right away, and they know and they are comfortable with their position and how they operate. I want to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, we're 13 equal voices.
Friday is Veterans Day, and here in the town of Barnstable, we work hard to honor those who've served our country. On Monday, I spoke with interim town manager Tom Lynch. He gave us the rundown on Veterans Day events for this Friday. Taking place on Thursday, and Friday is Veterans Day, and I know the town always does a really wonderful job of honoring our veterans. So talk to me a little bit about what's planned for Friday.
Well, I think there's a very a busy agenda for Friday and Saturday. There will be the service over at St. Mary's in Barnstable Village starting at 9, but the parade for Veterans Day gathers at 9:30 at Town Hall, marches up Old Colony, down Main Street, back to the Village Green, where they have a program put together. They will be laying 4 wreaths for World War II, for Vietnam, Korea, Vietnam, and then for the Afghanistan-Iraq wars. There'll also be a special ceremony and a portion of the ceremony where they're honoring Kevin Houston, who's the Navy SEAL, Barnstable High graduate, grew up here in Barnstable, perished, unfortunately, in that helicopter, that was shot down some time ago. And the way the military works it is the community and really the family is left to how they may want to celebrate and remember a fallen soldier. There has been a very active citizen group, kids that went to young people who went to school with Kevin, coaches, and working very closely with Kevin's family. They have put together, the ceremony and the special dedication that we're going to do on the village green in his honor for Friday, and then on to Saturday they also have a special ceremony. But before I leave Friday, after the parade, which it gets over on 11, there'll be a group going down to Veterans Park because the American Legion has a special dedication down there that they want to do for some signage that's been put together. And they're, of course, a very important service organization for veterans, and there'll be a ceremony down there immediately following the ceremony on the Village Green on Friday.
Right, and I know talking about Kevin Houston a little bit on Saturday, it's really a very important ceremony taking place at the high school. And of course, Kevin Houston, as you mentioned, grew up here, graduated from Barnstable High. His family right now lives in Virginia, and from what I understand, they're going to be traveling up to Barnstable to attend that ceremony on Saturday, along with some other dignitaries as well.
I believe there are going to be 24 family members coming up, and others that live in the area who are coming over. There are quite a few from his base that are going to join with the local citizenry. Clearly, everyone is invited to it. It's going to be at the Performing Arts Center at the high school beginning at 1 p.m. Again, the family and the friends have organized this. They have been working very hard on a celebration of his life where they'll bring together coaches and individuals who worked with him, showing a collage of pictures between each of the presenters. I don't think it's going to be a long ceremony. I think they want it, fairly upbeat. There are going to be a lot of color guards, a lot of military folks who want to join in honoring this young man who made the ultimate sacrifice for his country and is really, just such a fine example of the product and individual who was, was brought up here in Barnstable, and is one of the just many who have served, and is more of a symbol of what that sacrifice really means. So following the ceremony, I understand the governor's coming down, the Veterans Service Secretary for the State will be here, so there'll be some dignitaries, but my understanding is they're not speaking. It's all driven by the family and friends, and then they're going to go into the Memorial Garden at the high school where there'll be special dedications done there, permanent remembrances for Kevin and also his sister Miranda, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago from cancer. So it's going to be an emotional day for the family, I think for the town, but something that we're going to be proud to be a part of in recognizing the service of this family.
Well, for sure, Tom, and it really sounds like it is going to be a very emotional but memorable event for sure, and that's Saturday at 1 o'clock at Barnstable High School.
And we hope all can attend.
Certainly, and then of course, just going back to Friday, the parade and ceremonies begin here at the Village Green at 10 o'clock on Friday, correct?
Yeah, Ed Merrigan, the Veterans Agent, has done a wonderful job putting together a program with, for the parade, and it's always a memorable, and we have the crowds have been very good over the last few years, and I hope that we have a good weather and a good turnout this year.
Again, Friday's ceremony begins at 10 a.m. at the Village Green right here in downtown Hyannis. That celebration includes a parade and ceremonial wreath laying. Fallen Navy SEAL Kevin Houston is honored on Saturday at Barnstable High School. All are welcome. That remembrance begins at 1 p.m. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.